Hello and welcome to Hebrew Friday. And we're still in the Ten Commandments. We're on the fourth commandment by most Protestant reckoning. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. And this is 4 verses. This is a lot of space. I mean, thou shalt not kill is, I think, 2 words. So this is a lot of space on the Sabbath, which makes a lot of sense because this is a distinctively Israelite kind of concern. So let's dive in. Vayom. Now, this is a beginning Hebrew understanding, but I remember hearing in beginning Greek that since typically a Hebrew sentence begins with vav and a verb, that when you have a vav, which means and, of course, on a noun like yom, day, and day, that it's probably disjunctive or might be disjunctive. And it actually is disjunctive because the previous verse says, 6 days you will labor, but day 7th is a Sabbath. So, but I think is a better translation of the vav here than and. Yom, of course, means day, but day, ha-shavi'i. So, hey patak doubling is the word the. And then Shavi'i is the ordinal version of 7. So 7 is a cardinal number. 1, 2, 3, 4. 7th is an ordinal. And the Hebrew pattern for these is often hirkyot. Ha Shavi'i. So the 7th. But the 7th day is, no is here, we have to insert it. The 7th day is a Shabbat, a Sabbath, a rest day. Notice that the focus in this verse is not on worship. My impression is that the Sabbath is much more about resting than about worship in this part of the Old Testament. I think when we get to maybe Ezra and Nehemiah, the idea of worship maybe comes into it a little bit more. But inductively, now maybe it's in the background and we just don't, it's not just in the text, or just not in the text, but the text doesn't say anything about worship. It talks about rest. But day 7th, but the 7th day is a Sabbath la Yahweh Eloheka, to Yahweh your God, your Elohim. Ka is second masculine singular, your, although it applies to women as well. But the 7th day is a Sabbath to Yahweh your God. Lo ta'aseh, not you will make, or not you will do. So asa means to do or to make. And then the imperfect tense puts stuff on the front, pre-formative. And a tav is, again, a second masculine singular, also applies to women, but a second masculine singular you. So we have a consistent you singulars here. It's not a collective command in the way it's grammatically worded. It's an individual command. You, Ken Shank, will not do. So this is second person masculine singular imperfect. You will not do what? You will not do all work. You will not do kol malakah, any work is the sense of it here. It's kamatz katuf, a short O, because it's kol with a long O when it's by itself. When you put the makaf on it, it sucks the sound out of it and it goes to a short O, which in this case is a kamatz katuf. Okay, so these are kamatz gadols. They are long A's. Anyway, Hebrew vowels are a little confusing. So you will not do any work, malakah. You won't do it. And who are we talking about here? We're talking about ata, which is second masculine singular again, you, Ken Shank, it also applies to women. U bin ka, Ben is my son. Actually, I don't have a son named Ben. I have a son named Tom. But Ben and Bat, but Bat and Ben. My daughter is not a bat, but the Hebrew word for bat means daughter. Ben and Bat. Ben, you've heard of Ben and Jerry's? Well, this is Ben and Bat, son and daughter. And then ka. This is your, second masculine singular again, but also applies to women. So, and your son and your daughter, your slave. Okay, let me go back. Why are these sharuks instead of normal vavs? Because this B, bait, is a bump letter. Before bait, mem, and pay, bump, it goes all sharuk on us. Ooh. And so ubinka, ubitika, ubiteka. Usually the accent is before the pronominal suffix or the possessive suffix if there's a vowel there. Here there's no vowel, it's bin. Anyway, but it's not important right now. Your son and your daughter, your servant. I put slave here just to remind us that this is the ancient Near East. The ancient Near East is a really rough place. We just have no idea. And I've been reading William Webb this summer a little bit, and I think he's right. We should not take this mention of slaves, we should not take the mention of slaves in the law as an absolute statement of God's approval of slavery, but we should rather take it as the Bible must be interpreted in terms of the trajectory it's on in relation to the culture. The Old Testament is moving in a empowerment direction for slaves. You know, if you're a slave in Assyria, I'm so sorry. And I'm not saying that slaves in ancient Israel haven't had it great. I'm simply saying that we should take the mention of slaves here not as an endorsement by God of slavery. We should rather view the direction of the law as one of moving toward God's ideal, which will take place in the kingdom of God, in which there will be no slaves at all. And so slaves are mentioned here. Your slave, it's probably not chattel slavery, but anyway, in this particular case, I don't know that the Israelites didn't have chattel slaves. I don't believe. Okay, so your daughter, your son, your slave, your female slave, and your female slave, v'amateka. The is and, ka is again second masculine singular your, and then ama I think is female slave, and your female slave, and your cattle or your beast, your behemoth. U ba he, sorry, u ba hem teka, ubahemteka. Your again, and then behemah refers to a beast or to cattle. So not even your animals are supposed to work. So it's not enough for you to say, okay, I'm going to work. I'm going to sit in a lawn chair, but I'm going to let my cattle, go to it. Nope. You're not your slaves, not your beast. The Gaelka, and your stranger, your alien, Asher Bishareka, that is in your gates. This is not your personal gates, but I assume it's the village gates. So even you can't put other people to work. It's just not a matter of penalty. This is not penalizing. This is empowerment. Again, what we're talking about, the direction. Another culture would say, well, I'm going to take the day off, but I'm going to have my slaves work. No, your slave gets a day off. Your beast, your cattle gets a day off. The stranger, you can't make the stranger work. The stranger gets a day off. This is not a penalization here. You can't work. No, this is a empowerment. Again, what's the direction? We're going to give the day off to your son, to your daughter, to your slave, to your female servant, to your cattle, and even to the stranger who is here from another country, or not another country, but another land, another people. Again, your, Asher is the relative pronoun, ba is in, ka again is your, second masculine, and then this is plural because of the yod, so it's your gates. Well, this has been a little bit of Hebrew on Friday from the fourth commandment.